My name is Kenan Thompson. I play Gus the Beaver, the brother of the illustrious Cooper the Beaver. Illustrious. I don't know what that even means. Like he's illustrated well. When I warm up for a usual voiceover job, I tend to, make some tea or something like that to try to get the vocal pipes ready. Do a little, vocal warm up. Get the mouth, the tip of the teeth and the tongue and the tooth. But no, honestly, I go in there and do my thing. As long as everybody's cool, we just find a vibe together and we just start working. Wonder Park is the story of a little girl named June who has a wild imagination and she comes up with this amusement park. And then she goes and discovers that it's actually real. Like it came to life and her imagination all comes to life. My character Gus is a beaver and he has a brother named Cooper, played by the great Ken Jeong, Dr. Ken for the layman. The dynamic between Gus and Cooper is, pretty interesting because they like to argue at the same time. They fix everything together and they work really well together, so they kind of need each other. So it's fun to watch them like argue while they're like fixing things at the same time. I would describe Gus's personality kind of just as, fun-loving type of guy. You know what I mean? They're just high energy. Like, for some reason, I just assume that beavers are just like all over the place because that's how they are in cartoons. In real life, they're kind of just big and sluggish and wet all the time. Bloody, weird brown teeth on beavers in real life. I don't like it. But in cartoons, they're fun and they're bouncy, all kind of all over the place. Gus's role in the park, he's kind of like in the maintenance department. So him and his brother, like, do all the maintenance for all the rides and stuff. If anything's broken, they're like the first ones to try to get out there and fix it. When the park first opens, we have like everything is very happy and very fantasy land and like very candy all over the place. And we have these wonderful little characters, these Wonder Chimp dolls that are little like cute little chimpanzee dolls that are like very family friendly, and all the kids love them. And then something happens and they turn into these chimpanzombies, and it's kind of terrifying because they're trying to tear the park down all of a sudden, and then there's like a super duper army of them, and we have to like kind of fight them off and save the day. I would like to point out the fact that friendship and teamwork kind of go hand in hand. Like when you figure out the fact that you work better as a team, a friendship usually forms out of that if it hasn't formed already. So if you have a friend and you team up with them and everything goes according to plan in the beginning, that's just, a plus for everybody. But usually what happens if you don't, know a person or whatever and you team up and do something awesome, you'll form a friendship out of that. So friendship, teamwork, hand in hand. Using your imagination is super important all your life, especially, when you're a kid, because, you know, it's just fun to create a world outside of, the obvious world that you're living in. You want to like put more colors into it or, throw in a talking chimpanzee or something like that that you wouldn't get in real life. So imagination is a lot of fun when you're a kid. And then when you're an adult, it helps you to think outside the box. A lot of jobs and stuff want you to think outside the box and be a creative thinker or, a creative driver. No, I'm just kidding. You should follow all driving rules. But yeah, using your imagination, it keeps you young, it keeps you happy. You know what I mean? It makes life exciting. And then where would we be if people didn't have an imagination? I get very into rides and themes and puppet shows and all of that. Like I'm very, I get like really, really into the story of stuff too because that's what you're supposed to be doing anyway. You're not just there to like, fall down on a ride and stuff like that. You want to like get into the story and like get into the characters and stuff like that and get into the world and like experience it that way. So yeah, I get very excited. I think what will resonate with kids is the fact that this is a fun, feel good movie, encouraging them to use their imagination and like whatever you can dream can become a reality and stuff like that. And I think for parents watching their kids experiencing that and like learning that lesson of like, staying creative and like staying positive is such a good thing. And like you're never out of the game. Like as long as you can like team up with some good friends and like turn it all around, like anything is possible. That kind of stuff, especially as a parent, it has to be like really nice and sweet and satisfying to like watch your kids learn that kind of a lesson. So for parents, I think it's one of those reminders that your imagination is important and don't just like let it go. I feel like audience will walk away from this film filled with a lot of joy and a lot of love and hopefully a lot of, like I don't know, like inner like reflection on the fact that like maybe I'm not, using my imagination as much as I can, or, maybe, I could, put a different outlook on how I look at the negative things in life, like it all depends on how you take it basically. There's got to be some kind of a light or some kind of a lesson or, a piece of positivity to kind of everything that happens. So hopefully they'll walk away with that kind of feeling. Just full of satisfied and, tons of laughter. Satisfactory laughter. Is that a thing?